Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into the ever-shifting 2026 programming landscape. We're going to track Python's massive, seemingly unstoppable dominance across the industry, but we're also going to meet its surprising, heavy-hitting challenger in the back-end space. Whether you're writing code, managing infrastructure, or just looking to break into tech this year, this is the reality check you absolutely need.
Here's a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll hit 1. The global landscape. 2. Python's rise and superpowers. 3. Python as a gateway. 4. The production backend test. 5. Python versus Go. And wrap up with 6. The right tool. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The global landscape, a multi-source view. We're zooming out first, pulling from a recent comparative analysis that mashed up data from GitHub, Stack Overflow, and the TOB index from 2020 all the way to 2025.
And look at that trajectory. It just brilliantly illustrates Python's unyielding upward climb. While traditional heavyweights like C and Java are kind of plateauing or slowly trending down, Python is just on an absolute tear. We're talking massive, multi-dimensional growth in search visibility, open source projects, and developer preference surveys. So, breaking it down, this shows exactly where each language sits in the real world. And the big takeaway? No single language rules everything. Java and C are still rock solid, because they're so deeply embedded in enterprise and systems. But the languages that are flexible and data-driven, namely Python and JavaScript, are the ones actively expanding their footprint and winning the growth race right now.
Moving to Section 2, Python's rise and superpowers, why it dominates. Let's look at what's actually fueling this beast and giving it such a crazy edge. It's not just hype. Python is literally the undisputed king of AI, data science, and machine learning. And honestly, it all comes down to its simple, clean syntax. The learning curve is so low that developers can just move incredibly fast. Plus, you've got this gigantic ecosystem of pre-built libraries waiting for you. You aren't just learning a language, you're unlocking an entire ecosystem of ready-to-use tools. It's like having a million pre-built Lego blocks ready to snap together.
Section 3. Python as a gateway, breaking into cybersecurity. Let's see how all this translates to a very actionable, real-world career path.
I hear this question all the time. Should I start with Python, Bash, or PowerShell? Look, if you're starting today, Python easily beats Bash and PowerShell as your absolute best first language. Now, Bash is great for Linux, and PowerShell is vital for Windows admins, no doubt. But Python, it's universal. It is the ultimate Swiss Army knife for automation, tool building, threat intelligence, and data parsing. It just gives you the widest possible foundation.
If you want to make this happen, here is your exact 90-day roadmap. Weeks 1 to 4, you're locking down core Python logic. Then, weeks 5 and 6, you pivot to networking, because, well, you can't secure a network you don't actually understand, right? Weeks 7 to 9, you start pulling in security-specific libraries like Scapy for packet sniffing and requests for web testing. Finally, week 10 and beyond, you apply it all to defend against real vulnerabilities like the OWASP Top 10.
But here is the real secret sauce. You have to build practical, portfolio-ready projects. Please, don't just get stuck in tutorial hell. Start simple with the password strength checker. Then, level up to a log file analyzer that mimics real security logic. The end goal? Aim for a machine learning classifier that detects phishing URLs based on domain features. That right there is how you actually prove your chops.
All right, Section 4, the production backend test, a reality check. Because as invincible as Python seems as the hero of 2026, we need a reality check for high-stakes production environments.
A senior developer recently did something super fascinating. They took a medium complexity backend service handling a massive peak of 19,000 requests per second and built the exact same thing from scratch in both Python and Go. They wanted to see what happens when the rubber actually meets the road under intense traffic.
Which brings us to Section 5, Python versus Go, the rivalry. Time to see how Python's famous development speed holds up against Go's operational reality.
The results were pretty eye-opening. Python, running fast API, was an absolute joy to write. Prototyping was incredibly fast, but under massive load, it really suffered. We're talking scary memory bloat, garbage collection pauses causing latency spikes, and even out-of-memory crashes. Go, on the other hand, took a bit longer to write initially, but once it was deployed as a single static binary, absolute rock. It was highly predictable with virtually zero production surprises.
If you care about infrastructure costs, pay close attention to this number, 52%. To do the exact same job,
Under the exact same traffic, Go used a staggering 52% less memory on average than Python. In a cloud environment where you're paying for every ounce of compute, that translates directly to massive cost savings.
And it gets better. Go delivered a massive 38 to 47% improvement in P99 latency. When traffic spiked, Python's async setup just struggled to keep up, while Go cruised along with almost totally flat latency. For raw, high concurrency performance, Go literally left Python in the dust.
Finally, Section 6, the right tool, synthesizing the findings. Let's pull this all together so you know exactly what to use for your next big project.
So the big takeaway here isn't that one language is magically better universally. It's all about a hybrid strategy for 2026. Lean heavily on Python for your data layers, AI, cybersecurity scripting, and rapid prototyping. Use it anytime developer velocity is your absolute top priority. But when it comes to your heavy-duty, latency-sensitive core backend services where scaling and server costs are critical, trust Go for sure.
I'm going to leave you with this final thought for your engineering career. Next time you architect a solution, really ask yourself, are you making choices based on what simply feels comfortable to you right now, or what actually works best in reality? Think about it. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep building, and I'll catch you next time.